Hey guys, welcome back. This is By the Book, and we're your married relationship coaches. I'm Sent.
I'm Sil.
And today we're talking about Married at First Sight, Season 18, Episode 11, or at least that's how far we've come in the season. Wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about Camille and Thomas. We haven't touched on them. Dare I say they're a power couple? I mean, I wouldn't say power couple, but I mean...
They're a couple.
When you have what we have to compare it to for this season,
Okay.
I mean, it's as much power as they're gonna get.
Yeah.
So, I don't have a big problem with them.
Mm-hmm.
What I like is that you're seeing like a normal dynamic, right? Like Camille wasn't really feeling him at first. She's giving him a chance. She hasn't been rigid in her, expectations or requirements.
Mm-hmm.
And she's allowing him at least to get close enough to her for them to have some intimacy, for them to bond. And essentially, among all of the mess that we usually see in these seasons, that's what you want.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you're not expecting a perfect match straight out the gate. You're expecting people to have to make adjustments, to have to go through some of the regular things that people do in relationships and work through them and come out to a positive outcome. My question is, are they going to come out to a positive outcome? Like, do you think those issues that were present from the beginning are resolved for them?
Your question. We are watching Married at First Sight, right? I mean, we watch this show and we know that it's smooth sailing, but only for so long. And then trouble will arise because what's been put away, what has been resolved. I mean, she's kind of like giving him a chance, like you said.
Yeah.
But who's to say that those feelings, the initial feelings that she had, they are still there. They're just buried a little bit. So that's my thought. It's gonna rear its ugly head.
Do you think it's gonna do it during the show, or do you think like they sail through, they say yes on decision day, and then 6 months later we find out they divorced?
Ooh, my guess is it's gonna happen before.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen. I mean, they always kind of push whatever drama they can on the preview. So, I mean, I think we saw a little bit of something, but I haven't seen anything where I was like, whoa, like some of the other couples. So I don't know I feel like they've got to have one strong couple each season, right? Like that. And so I don't know if that's supposed to be Camille and Thomas or if it's supposed to be Carla and Juan, or maybe it's both of them. I don't really know.
You gotta define strong.
Like say yes at decision day strong. That's all.
I mean, so that bar is set pretty low. To be honest with you, I don't think either one of those couples that you just named are gonna say yes.
No yes, even at decision day for Camille and Thomas.
No.
What do you think is lingering for her? Because, if you guys will remember, kind of the first thing that we felt from Camille was Thomas was not
black enough?
No. I don't see. I mean, you can characterize it in the most negative way possible.
What else was it? Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, she explained it in that, and maybe it sounds like a euphemism, I don't know, but she's saying she has been exposed to the more, they're both biracial, right? She's been exposed to the more ethnic side of her family, friends. That's what she's been surrounded by. Where she went to school was predominantly, correct me if I'm wrong, she said it was very diverse.
I believe she did. I can't remember exactly.
I'm presuming
I feel that she did.
That it wasn't like a 50-50 thing. I'm presuming that it was probably more Black or African American students than not. I don't know where she went to college. She probably said it. I just don't remember. But whereas Thomas grew up and was kind of surrounded by the white side of either his family or also the neighborhood that he grew up in and things like that. So that's not to say, that's not an attack on him personally being Black enough. There's no such thing as being Black enough. If you're Black enough because you're Black. Like that just, it is what it is, just straight out the gate. So it's more or less like, what has been your cultural experience and is it relatable to mine?
Oh, you took a long way around to say, is he black enough?
That is it. And you guys, like, chime in, please say, like, that's not what I'm saying. I feel like that is something I could have said the same thing about, not about you, but just about one in general. We both came from very, very blackety black places. But no, I mean, I could see where me having grown up on the south side of Chicago, being very much immersed in everything that it has to offer, and then being exposed to anyone, doesn't have to be in a romantic sense, but anyone who is also black enough, just as black as me, you know, whatever, but not having had that similar upbringing, and then that making them view the world differently. Just the experiences alone. I think a lot of times, in my opinion, you guys also chime in on this, I think compatibility is built on relatability, right? Like if we have relatable experiences, there are times for sure when opposites attract and things like that. But I think for the most part, we seek a partner who can relate to us, who has similar experiences with family, with life, preferences, music, you know, the way you dress. Like a lot of things have to do with similarities where you find that person to be relatable. And I would say, rather than to cast that negative light on it and say she's trying to challenge his blackness, to just say she's challenging whether or not they have enough relatability with one another in terms of like how they grew up, and that being important to her, that being like kind of a key thing for her in terms of finding somebody compatible with her or not.
Okay. What can I say on the flip side of that? First of all, I grew up in a black environment as well, so, you know, my wife kind of said, well, I'm not sure you got to say the same thing about it. How would she just say it, you know?
Did I not?
Yeah,
guys,
I grew up in a black neighborhood as well.
Didn't I say that? So. Will y'all please tell Sam? We talk about this all the time. I tell him he closes his ears. No. I said that. I said that like 3 minutes ago. Okay. I said we both grew up.
I didn't hear the we. I heard the you.
Please help me out, y'all. Please help me out. Anyway, go ahead. Say more.
Okay, yeah, I do agree with you. I do agree with you that, you know, the compatibility thing, it has a lot to do with where you grew up and sharing like stories, you know what I mean? You know, like neighborhoods, you know, like occasions, you know, family coming over, and see you begin to talk about family members, and you be like, wow, I got an uncle that's kind of like that. And, you know, you kind of like trade off stories, and they're very similar, and that's the compatibility thing that you kind of like saying. And so I do get it. I do understand that. However, is the first, I don't know, maybe like 3, maybe 4 episodes of the season, it just seemed to me, you know, you all let us know how you feel, and you let me know how you feel too, but
I will.
I know you will. But it just seemed to me that between two, dare I say, black people, even though they're you know, biracial, the race thing was coming up a lot, you know, and I'm just like, okay, both of you, you know, as far as ethnicity is concerned, you both come from the same pool, you know, so why is race dominating your conversations so much? So I was a little bit kind of thrown off by that. But how do you feel?
I don't know. I just didn't see it like that. Now, I don't know, because again, we're 11 episodes in and I can't remember verbatim a lot of what was said. I don't recall, or I don't experience it in the way maybe that you did, in terms of it being like something that Camille was bringing up and saying, you know, let's talk about blackness again. You know, that's not how I perceived it. Now, I don't know if some of these were producer-inspired conversations or something like that. And I do feel like it came up less than a handful of times maybe, but but I think it's relevant. I think that if you're starting to feel like I'm not compatible with this person, And why might that be? I think what happens, again, you guys chime in here, is that people read Black as having some sort of interesting connotation. I don't know whether they assign it a negative or a positive one, but like when you say Black or Black enough, and then you hear trigger words like swag or tough or like things like that, and then you start to like assign positive and negative attributes to Blackness. And I think that's where we're starting to like maybe muddle things up a little bit too much, because if we hold the race thing like independently of everything else, I don't think it's a problem. It doesn't bother me that she's brought up that they were raised differently in different in terms of diversity. They were raised in different types of environments. His less diverse, heavy on the white side, I presume, or not Black side.
Well, he was adopted too, so he had that aspect as well. But you're right. It did to me. It kind of like seemed like she was saying that he was a bit soft. That he wasn't thugged out enough for her, and that's what I was kind of like taken.
Well, I don't like linking that with Black though. You know what I mean? Because then that becomes offensive in a whole different realm. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, what's a better way to say it then?
I mean, don't say thug equal Black. You know what I mean? Like, no, I don't like that at all.
I was done with Black, the Blackness of it, but but I was talking about softness and thug.
Yeah, he is a little soft and he's a little awkward too.
Okay, why do you think he's soft?
It's just how he comes off. Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know. He just comes off a little softer. She was looking for somebody who, there's nothing wrong with it.
Okay, unless soft or nice. Is he coming off as soft or is he nice? Because I don't think those things are the same thing.
I don't think those things are the same thing either.
Okay.
I don't know if I can put my finger on the best way to articulate it, but yeah, I think coming from probably a similar perspective as Camille, being a Chicago girl myself, like I get why she might have perceived him as soft. I feel like people from very, very urban environments in general tend to be a little more shoot from the hip, a little more sarcastic, taking more harsh jokes, not being like goofy, and maybe not liking things that are perceived as corny. Maybe this might be a huge overgeneralization, but I think that's what Camille is experiencing with him when he says things that she thinks are like awkward, corny. The thing I can draw back when she said whatever he said about the floss and he's flicking blood. Like nobody wants to hear. Come on, dude. Like, can you think about what you're saying before you say it and just feel like anything is fair game? Like that's not going to be appealing to anybody, any woman. That's gross, and that's what she meant by like swag. Like, where's your I don't know, discernment about I shouldn't say this because I'm going to sound like a weirdo.
All right, so swag, bravado. He's, she's again, she's looking. She was looking or anticipating someone with a little bit more of an edge, to them.
All of these are words that are kind of ambiguous. You know what I mean? Like it has a different meaning to each person who says it.
So if they would have picked somebody, that was tatted up, had the teardrop, going, if they had picked
see how extreme he just made.
She probably would have, been a little bit more comfortable out the gate. To me, who knows? What you say?
I don't know. I definitely not with a teardrop. Did he have to do prison time? No, it's not that extreme. No, it doesn't. It means something very different. I hope. I'm not even gonna get into it. But the point is,
I think he should get cornrows. I think that'll totally flip the script.
See, we can't even have a serious
We are having a serious
conversation.
She got him to get earrings in 2 years. Why not? Go all out. Don't stop.
So what is your point here? You feel like she's unreasonable because she has an ideal image in her head of somebody who comes off a little more polished than him, a little less corny, maybe a little more exposed to urban culture. Is that in itself problematic? Is there something wrong with that?
I mean, we like what we like.
Right.
Okay, so let me say that. And let me give her I'm gonna give her flowers, but I give her one little rose. For she did open up and she did try.
She did.
You know what I'm saying? And so so she did kind of get herself into this process, and she's going through the process, and she is trying. I see the effort that she's put forth from the wedding until now. So here's your rose. Thank you very much. But as far as wait a minute, I want to make sure I answer your question. What was your question?
I said, what's wrong with it? What's wrong if she has a preference, if she was looking for, expecting, wanting someone who seemed like they had a more urban upbringing, who seemed a little more polished in terms of like being smooth, what to say, when to say it, delivery of things, not being awkward, being a little bit more forward. I'm afraid to use the word aggressive because it's got such negative overtones. But assertive, like being a little bit more assertive. Because if she hasn't said it yet, I feel like either she's going to say it, or at least I can perceive that that's what she's feeling. Like it's a lack of assertiveness. When we look at the previews for upcoming weeks and her saying, I would like to be able to take my foot off the gas.
Yeah.
That's essentially her saying, you're not assertive enough. You're not dominant enough. You're not, or maybe I shouldn't say enough, but not as dominant as I would prefer. And that's creating an issue for her. So is there something inherently wrong with her feeling like that? I don't think so.
No, none of the things that you just said. Now if it's the surface stuff that was throwing her off, he doesn't look. I'm gonna bring up those words again, okay? But if she didn't look the way she was kind of like anticipating him looking or whatever. But if it is more of a, I'm looking for someone, because I think she did say lead. She's looking for someone to take the forefront and to lead a little bit more. Dominant. That has a negative connotation to it as well in today's climate. So. I guess, leading, putting forth the ideas and say, hey, what do you want to do about this? And what are your thought processes on this? Okay. And now let's come together, leading that conversation basically. And so if that's what she's talking about, then okay. But I do, just like when you say they just met, they don't know each other, and trying to fill out each other, and keeping in consideration that he's coming across very nice. And so is this truly him, or is this his representative and he wants to be liked in going through this process, being a little bit more conscientious of how he's presenting and what he's putting out there to the world. And so is this truly him, or is there more to his personality? Is there more to his character that we're not picking up right now? And so by her saying, okay, I do want someone to lead, it could be already there, but he's just going through this process. I gotta be nice. I gotta be unthreatening and things of that sort. And so let me kind of like go through this with a smile on my face and being open to just about any and everything that she says. So that's that.
I don't know if it was an answer in that or not.
It was an answer.
But I mean, I'll take what you said. And I hate to say this because I feel like a villain myself, but I feel like women can, men can, we can kind of just perceive. Some people are very, very good at lying and being deceptive about their personality straight off the gate. That's true. But I think by and large, we can perceive personality types. You can kind of tell when you meet somebody if they are, or within a short amount of time of having met them and knowing them, if they have a kind of dominant personality, if they have like more of an alpha personality, or if they're more passive, if they're looking to be led, or if they are looking to lead. It's something that I think It's a you know it when you see it type of thing. You feel it when you feel it type of thing. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times our intuition on those types of things aren't wrong. And so then it's an adjustment for, you know, Camille, like, are you going to have to try to give him the space to lead? And I mean, we could go down a rabbit hole talking about this whole area of relationships, but
there's a lot there.
A lot of people just want it right away. Like, they don't want to have to give you the space to lead. They want you to make your space. You know, they want your presence to dominate enough to be like, okay, this person is a balance to, if she thinks she's an alpha, this person is a balance to my alpha. You know, like, I don't have to lead. I can take my foot off the gas a little bit. And if she's not feeling that, I definitely feel like, as you said, it is going to start to be a problem because she wants it. She's asking for it. She's craving it, and she's not getting it from him still because he's a nice guy. And a nice guy is not, to me, a nice guy doesn't mean that you don't have those attributes. But I think some people perceive it as such. Like, oh, I have to be a nice guy, and then that makes me very docile, very, you know, fall back, very beta, very followy. That's not what she wants. Okay. You know, and I mean, if that's what she's getting, on top of he's awkward, on top of he's corny, on top of he seems like he's been immersed in a culture not like mine, I think it'll be problematic down the line. Will they say yes at decision day? I don't know, but I think it will rear its ugly head at some point, you know, and cause some issues. So
possibly.
Yeah.
You know, we're definitely gonna find out.
Yeah.
So I don't, as they say, sometimes be careful what you wish for as well. So I've seen two dominant people come together, and there's fireworks.
Yeah, but like you said, you like what you like.
Yeah.
Now she will try to find the best of that, the best balance of it. But if he's too off balance for her, that's almost just as bad as you having too much of it the other way.
Gotcha.
So anyway, guys, let us know your thoughts about Camille and Thomas.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a yes at decision day? Whatever I asked earlier about you to prove Sale wrong on, please do not forget to drop the comments below about what he accused me of not saying.
Yes, let us know how badly she threw me under the bus. You know.
Anyway, please, like I said, drop those comments below, guys. Like, share, and subscribe, and we will talk to you all soon.